Hello, it's Peter Godman here, and today I want to show you how to make a sandwich board with Shelf Me. A sandwich board is one of those frames that you have outside your local business that just says who you are and what you do. I'm broadcasting here from Ballard, where we're allowed to put these signs on our sidewalks, and so let's just take a look at how you might build one of these things with Shelf Me. Okay, so this is the Shelf Me designer right here. So in this case, we want to say start a new project, scroll down, and we find a sandwich board blank. Easy so far. Okay, this is the Shelf Me designer. I can left click and orbit around. I can right click and pan. I can grab these individual panels and I can move them around. I don't really want to do much with that today because we're not building shelves, we're just building a sandwich board. So really all we want to know is how can I put a piece of text on here? And what I'm going to do here is say model add 3D shape. Now 3D shape includes things like spheres and text and all these different sorts of things. So I can actually take this shape that I just created, a sphere, and because it's set to intersect, I could actually just intersect so that all I end up with is this little panel. But what I want to do right now is I want to change this to text. Okay, and as you can see, I've got some text right here, and I can grab this object and I can move it around on different axes. Okay, so what I want to do is get it lined up more or less in front of this panel. Now, first things first, let's decide what we're going to write. I can just say edit 3D text, and I'm just going to say Shelf Me because it's Shelf Me. Okay, so now we can select it again by clicking on it, move it roughly into place again. Now, okay, great. So what are we actually going to do with this thing? So as you can see, it's what you call an extrusion of text. So it creates this 3D object. Now the trick with this 3D object is the places where it intersects with panels, it's going to modify them in some way. And you saw before how we're just intersecting that text with the panel. But what we want to do instead is we want to engrave with this object. Now the way that we change that option is we go here under Cutting Shapes, Operation, and this one right here at the top is the one that we're looking for, and that is the Engrave Shape option. Now that that's turned on, I should be able to push this back so that it's intersecting, and you saw a little clue there that we're actually getting something. Now, I can't really see what's going on right now. So one way I can deal with that is I can go look at the so-called assembly directions. Now we're not really assembling anything, but you can see we're getting an engraving now. Now this text is a little bit small, so if we make it a little bit larger, the engraving will start to make a little bit more sense. See that? Okay, nice. Now, okay, so we've got words on a sandwich board. Now we have a couple of niceties that we can deal with. There's something peculiar that we're going to see with this, and that is that this object is intersecting this panel, and by default we're going to modify what's happening both on the front and the back. So you can see I've got backwards text on the back, a little bit strange. So what we're going to do here is go to this option, which is the face option. Which side are we going to interact with? And we want to choose just the front. Okay, so I click that, and now we're interacting only with the front. And if I do assembly directions, you'll see, great, there's nothing on the back, and we have an engraving on the front. Now, that's all good. Now we have just a few more niceties that I think we probably want to pick up. And the first one is, let's go and choose the edge treatment here. And we can choose between rounded over edges, chamfered edges, and just straight squared off edges. So let's set that to chamfer, and we'll get this sort of nice relief treatment. You'll be able to see that a little bit more. It's a little bit funky, a little bit 70s. And then we want to make sure, you may have noticed that we didn't really make sure that we got this all lined up with everything. And really what we want to do is make sure that we're balanced so that the left and the right sides are nice and even. So what we're going to do in this case is we're going to select that text, and you see that there's an option to select the left face. Now this text object is actually this 3D object, and I'm saying select the leftmost side of that object. So I select it, it turns pink, great. And now I'm going to use shift click to select the panel and then select its face. Now, once that's done, you'll see that this thing, which is called a measure, pops up, and it says it's 3.5 inches right now. I'm going to click that and hit return and say, okay, I think that 2.5 is probably going to be a good distance. Actually, it feels a little tight, so I'm going to go back and change that to 3, and then I'm going to lock that distance. Great. Okay, and likewise, I'm going to do the same thing on the right-hand side, so I'll just run through that really quickly. I think I said 3, right? So we're going to set that to 3. Now, the nice thing is that now those are locked. What I've said is, hey, this text object, I want it to end on the left-hand side, 3 inches from the left-hand side of the panel. So if I stated that, then you might think that if I resize the panel, that the text is going to resize along with it. And lo and behold, this in fact does happen. So when I resize the panel, now I've got text that resizes along with it. Okay, and you can see there are 2 parts to the sandwich board. So there we go, a super basic sandwich board design from ShelfMe. Once you're happy with that, you can add it to your cart and then check out. So I hope you learned something, and I hope this works for you. And we hope to see you in Ballard at ShelfMe. Thanks.